So, what made you decide to pick up a guitar?
I went out one time. I'd gone out and saw Joe Walsh playing at an amusement park, and that was kind of like where I got hooked. And that was the end of it.
So, how did you meet Stiv Bators?
His band Mother Goose came to my high school and played a Friday night dance after a basketball game, and my friends and I saw him. And I was in a band with some buddies in high school, and we were really impressed with his performance. So afterwards we went and introduced ourselves to him and became friends after that. Well, kids gotta know this.
Not much is known about the new Dead Boys period of the early 80s. Could you shed a little light on that? And were you a member?
Yeah, off and on I was, yeah. Dead Boys went on and got popular and did 2 albums, as you know, everybody knows. And then after their second album, things started deteriorating. And some of the guys in the band, they were all traveling back and forth from New York City to Cleveland. And some of the guys in the band, I don't know who, but they became rather drug and alcohol dependent. And Stiv used to come back to Youngstown, and he used to be frustrated. And many times he came and said that he'd quit those guys, and he'd had it. So I was in a band. I had my own band actually, and he approached me with the idea of just doing some side gigs and calling it like Stiv Bators and Stiv Bators Dead Boys, or Stiv Bators and the New Dead Boys, because he needed money. That was his income, and the guys in New York weren't able to pull it together, and they were falling apart, and just a lot of crazy stuff apparently was going on. So he would do this on the side and come down and get me and my band and play 5-6 gigs, and then he'd take off and go back to New York.
What was your involvement like in the early stages of the Dead Boys?
Not a whole heck of a lot. I was still in school, and Stiv, who's about 5 or 6 years older than me, moved to Cleveland from Youngstown, and he got an apartment, and he invited me up there. He said he was going to start another band, and he met this guy Gene, who happened to be Cheetah Chrome, and him and Cheetah were going to start a band, and they wanted to get me in on the guitar also. So I went up and lived with them for about 3 months, but we never did do anything. So just a lot of partying. So I had to go back home, back to Youngstown, and finish my school, because there just was nothing going on, so I left. But I did get to hang out with them for a while.
What are some of your favorite tracks from the album LA?
My favorites are probably Circumstantial Evidence. I like The Last Year, and I think I'll Be Alright is good too.
Excellent. Do you have any stories from recording the album?
We recorded the album, yeah, we were finishing it up, and the night we were mixing it, Kim Fowley showed up, and he brought a bunch of guys from Sham 69, Joan Jett, this band called the Orchids, a whole bunch of crazies. There was about 20 people. They crashed our studio basically, and kind of took over the sessions. So we ended up doing 3 or 4 songs with all these people on there, on the spot, you know, impromptu, and in 4 or 5 hours it was all done.
What are some of the bands that you played with during that period?
There was a band called, Devo. We played with Devo in Akron. We played with The Action. I remember them. Hammer Damage. It was another band that was popular back in Kent, Akron area. Norm Nardini and the Tigers we played with. A band called Diamond Rio, who I think is a country band now, but they were punk rock way back when.
That's funny.
I don't know. I don't remember anything beyond that.
When did you start your, I guess, soundtrack recording career?
That got started around 1986, 87.
And what sort of soundtrack credits do you have?
I started out, I met a guy named Mickey Thompson, the famous race car driver in Los Angeles, and I became friends with him. And he did this indoor stadium racing series thing, and he got a contract with ESPN to do a weekly TV show. Every Friday night at 7 p.m. it was on. So he needed somebody to do music for the, every Friday night show. So he asked me, "Can you do it?" I said, "I think so." So I went into his studio, and he got his producer director guy, and he went with me, and he kind of told me what kind of sounds and music he wanted. He kind of directed me, and I did it, and that was it. I got the contract with him for all the shows. And then from there I got other shows through ESPN. Here's one.
So what kind of musical projects do you work on today?
Right now I'm in a band called the Texreys here in Austin, Texas. That's kind of a freak beat garage fun kind of thing. We play with, there's myself, Wig, our lead singer, who's from Australia. He used to be in a band called the Bamba Lambs and the Navajo Dads. They've got a couple albums out. And then we have John Dorn on drums and Vic Gerard on bass. He's played around here with Chaparral, Two Hoots and a Holler, and several bands. Jesse Dayton's another one.
Do you have a special message before we go?
Hi, Mom. Actually, this is called Digging Up Those Bones.
Oh, yeah. Appropriate.
Dig 'em up.